Today we see the orthogonal curvilinear coordinates or orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. Spherical polar coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system, these are all examples for orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. So first of all, let's look at what is a curvilinear coordinate system. We know in Cartesian coordinate system, the position of a point that is determined by the intersection of three mutually perpendicular planes. The x equal to constant, y equal to constant, and z equal to constant. So if we say the position of a point is x, y, z, it is actually, that point is actually the intersection of three mutually perpendicular planes, x equal to constant, y equal to constant, and z equal to constant. For example, if you take the 2, 5, minus 1, a point is suppose 2, 5, minus 1. It is actually intersection of three planes, x equal to 2, y equal to 5, and z equal to minus 1. Okay, intersection of three planes, x equal to 2, a plane where everywhere x is equal to 2, x a constant, and a plane everywhere y equal to 5, a constant, and z equal to minus 1. Now that is about the Cartesian coordinate system. Now imagine that we superimpose on this system three other families of surfaces. Okay, we superimpose on this system three other families of surfaces. The importance is the three surfaces need not be parallel. Okay, the three surfaces that we are now going to see, they need not be parallel, they need not be planes, and they need not be mutually perpendicular. Okay, so we superimpose on this system three other families of surfaces. These three surfaces, as in the case of Cartesian coordinate system, they need not be parallel, they need not be planes. They need not be planes. In Cartesian coordinate system, the surfaces are planes, and they need not be mutually perpendicular at the point of intersection. Okay, now let the three new surfaces be Q1 a constant, Q2 a constant, and Q3 a constant. So let the three surfaces that we are going to consider are Q1 constant, Q2 constant, Q3 constant. Okay, so the coordinates are now Q1, Q2, Q3, and let them intersect at the point P. So at the point P, they are intersecting. Okay, so here you can see Q1 constant surface. This is Q1 constant surface. Okay, this surface. And you can see Q2 constant surface. This is Q2 constant surface. Okay. Then we can see Q3 constant surface. And they intersect at this point P. Okay. So that is shown here. Now the values, so the surfaces we see, they are not planes. Q1 constant, Q2 constant, Q3 constant, they are not planes. Okay, they are actually curved. They are, curved, and they are not intersecting mutually at the point, and at the point of intersection they are not mutually perpendicular. Okay. Now the values of Q1, Q2, Q3, the values of Q1, Q2, Q3 for the three surfaces intersecting at the point P are called the curvilinear coordinates of P. Okay, the values of Q1, Q2, Q3 for the three surfaces at the point P, they are called the curvilinear coordinates, and the three surfaces are called curvilinear surfaces. So we are taking Q1, Q2, Q3 as the curvilinear coordinates, as it is the values of the point, the surfaces at the point of intersection. Okay. Now, if the coordinate surfaces are mutually perpendicular, in our example, they are not mutually perpendicular. Here they are not mutually perpendicular. But if they are mutually perpendicular at every point, okay, if they are mutually perpendicular at every point, then the curvilinear coordinates Q1, Q2, Q3 are said to be orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. Then they are said to be orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. Okay, orthogonal if the surfaces are mutually perpendicular. Okay, the coordinate surfaces intersect pairwise in three curves. Okay, the coordinate surfaces Q1 constant, Q2 constant, Q3 constant, they intersect pairwise. Q1 Q2 pair, Q2 Q3 pair, Q3 Q1 pair, they intersect in three curves called coordinate lines or coordinate curves. Okay, they are called coordinate lines or coordinate curves. So here we have Q1 constant and Q2 constant surface. They intersect along Q1 here Q1 constant and Q2 here we have a surface which is here. Let's look at here. Here we have surface say Q1 constant, and here we have Q3 constant. So these two surfaces are intersecting along this line. Okay, along this line, and this is called Q2 curve. So this along the Q2 curve, the Q2 is increasing. This is Q2 constant. Along this curve, the Q2 that is increasing. So Q1 constant, Q3 constant, they intersect here, and this is called the Q2 curve. Okay, and here Q1 constant and Q2 constant, they intersect along this line, and this is called the Q3 curve. Okay, similarly Q2 constant and Q3 constant, they intersect along this line, and it is called the Q1 curve. Okay, so along the Q1 curve, we know the Q1 is increasing. Okay, Q2 and Q3 are constant. Along the Q2 curve, Q2 is changing, but Q3 and Q1 are constant. Along the Q3 curve, Q3 is changing, Q1 and Q2 are constants. The coordinate, so that's how we get the Q1 curve, Q2 curve and Q3 curve. So along Q1 curve, Q1 varies, Q2, Q3 constant. Along Q2 curve, Q2 varies, Q1 and Q3 constant. Along Q3 curve, Q3 varies, Q1 and Q2 a constant. And we can see the coordinate axis here. For this one, Q1, we see the coordinate axis. The coordinate axes are determined by the tangent to the coordinate lines, okay, at the point of intersection. Here we have the Q1 curve. This is the Q1 curve, and this is the coordinate axis here. And Q1 cap means a unit vector like I in the Cartesian coordinate system. So that is shown here. And here we have the Q2 curve. So this is the Q2 and this is Q3. Okay. And these are all tangent. The coordinate axes are tangents to the corresponding coordinate curves. And this is how we determine the coordinate axis. Okay. And the unit vectors. The point to note here is the coordinate axes do not have a fixed direction in space, as it is true for simple Cartesian coordinates. They do not have a fixed direction in space, as it is true for simple Cartesian coordinates. Okay. The quantities Q1, Q2, Q3, they are the curvilinear coordinates and of the point where P is x, y, z. So we can identify a point either by using the curvilinear coordinates Q1, Q2, Q3 or by the x, y, z. So we can write x as a function of Q1, Q2 and Q3, y as a function of Q1, Q2, Q3, z as a function of Q1, Q2, Q3. Also, we can write Q1 as a function of x, y, z, Q2 as a function of x, y, z, Q3 as a function of x, y, z. Okay, so we can have these relations because x, y, z, Q1, Q2, Q3 all are defined in the same space. They are all defined in the same space. So a point can be identified either by using x, y, z coordinates or by using Q1, Q2, Q3 coordinates. Now the unit vectors. With each family of surfaces Qi constant, we can associate a unit vector normal to the surface Qi constant and in the direction of increasing Qi that we saw. So a unit vector Qi cap, that is a unit vector, and this will be normal to the surface Qi constant. Okay. So here if you are considering Q1, unit vector Q1 here, this is tangent to the coordinate curve Q1 curve, and it is also perpendicular to the Q1 equal to constant surface. Okay. Same way Q2, that is perpendicular to the Q2 equal to constant surface. Q3 cap, that will be perpendicular to the Q3 equal to constant surface. Okay. So that is shown here. Then in general, the unit vectors will depend on the position in space that we already saw. The coordinate axis, they do not have a fixed direction space. Okay, the coordinate axes are the tangent to the coordinate lines at the point of intersection. So this will be changing because we are considering curvilinear coordinates. At each point, this will be different. So the unit vectors will depend on the position in space. Then a vector can be written as vector v equal to v1 q1 plus v2 q2 plus v3 q3. The in Cartesian coordinate system, the coordinates are represented by xi, yj plus zk. Okay, where the curvilinear coordinates are q1, q2, q3. So here a tangent to the q1 curve. Okay, a tangent to the q1 curve at point P, that is given by dou r by dou q1. Okay, the r is the position vector of a point. So r is the position vector. Okay, this is r in terms of the Cartesian coordinate system. And what we are going to take is dou r by dou r dou q1. This shows how r is changing with respect to q1. Okay, as q1 changes, how the position vector r is changing, and that will give you the tangent. Then a unit vector in the direction is given by dou r by dou q1 by magnitude of dou r by dou q1. Dou r by dou q1 divided by magnitude of dou r by dou q1, and we define dou r by dou q1 as h1, unit vector q1. Okay, we define dou r by dou q1 as h1, unit vector q1. So from this we can say h1 is given by magnitude of dou r by dou q1. So this is actually, h1 is the scale factor. H1 is the scale factor. Similarly, q2 that is given by dou r2 by dou q2 by magnitude of dou r2 by dou q2, and this is dou r. Okay, this is not r2, this is r. Dou r by dou q2 by magnitude of dou r by dou q2, and we define dou r by dou q2, the tangent to the coordinate curve, to the q2 curve, that is equal to h2 q2, where h2 equal to magnitude of dou r by dou q2. Okay, so h2 is the scale factor. Same way we define the scale factor here. So h3 is given by dou r, magnitude of dou r by dou q3. So the quantities h1, h2 and h3 are called the scale factors. The quantities h1, h2 and h3 are called the scale factors, and q1, q2, q3, these are the unit vectors. Okay, these are the unit vectors. Okay, so we know how to find the unit vectors q1. Q1 will be, q1 is now equal to 1 by h1 dou r by dou q1. q2 is equal to 1 by h2 dou r by dou q2. q3 equal to 1 by h3 dou r by dou q3. Okay, so this will be the unit vectors q1, q2, q3. We need this for our later use. Then the arc length and the volume element. The displacement corresponding to, the vector r is xi plus yj plus zk. Displacement corresponding to a small change in q1, that is dr1 is equal to dou r by dou q1 into dq1. So this is given by dou x dou q1i, dou y dou q1j plus dou z dou q1k dq1. Then displacement corresponding to a small change in q2, that is dr2 Okay, that is given by dou r by dou q2 into dq2. dq2 is that small change in q2, so that is given by this. Then displacement corresponding to a small change in q3, that is dr3. Okay, that is dou r by dou q3 into dq3. That is given by this. Okay, so here what we do, we know what is the position vector. This is the position vector, and we are making a small change in q1. We are making only very small change in q1, changing by dq1. q2, q3 are constant. So we will be reaching here, and this is the dr1. Okay, this is the dr1. Same way we find dr2, dr3, and the dr1 is given by this, by the rules of calculus. It is given by this dou r by dou q1 into dq1, and dr2 is given by the displacement corresponding to small change in q2, that is given by this. Displacement corresponding to small change in q3, that is given by this. Okay. Now dr is also given by dxi plus dyj plus dzk in Cartesian. Okay, in Cartesian coordinate system. You know what is r? R is xi plus yj plus zk. dr is given by this. Then we know x is x, that is this. So if you find dx, dx will be dou x dou q1 dq1, dou x dou q2 dq2, dou x dou q3 dq3, because x is now a function of q1, q2 and q3. So this will be dx. So the change in x can be due to q1, q2 and q3, then dx is given by this. And dy, that is given by this dou y dou q1 dq1, dou y dou q2 dq2, dou y dou q3 dq3, and dz is dou z dou q1 dq1. Okay, same way we wrote for xy, we are writing this. So because the fundamental thing is x is a function of this q1, q2, q3. Y is a function of q1, q2, q3. Z is a function of q1, q2, q3. So dr, which is basically what? dr is basically dxi dyj plus dzk. We have found dx, dy and dz in terms of q1, q2, q3. So we substitute here. So we have this dr as equal to this, okay, dx dou x dou q1 dq1. Then we substitute for dx, dy and dz, and we write, we take dq1 as a common factor here, and dq2 taken as a common factor, and dq3 taken as a common factor. Okay, we are taking dq1 as common factor here, and dq2 and dq3. So we will be getting this. Okay, dou x dou q1 I plus dou y dou q1 j plus dou y dou z dou q1 k. This is basically dou r dou q1. This is basically dou r dou q1. This is dou r dou q2, and this is dou r dou q3. And we can write dr, which is now dou r dou q1 dq1 plus dou r dou q2 dq2 plus dou r dou q3 dq3. That is equal to, dr is equal to sigma I dou r dou qi dqi. Sigma I dou r dou qi dqi. So this is our dr. The differential arc length is determined from the square of the distance between the neighboring points, which is dr dot dr. So ds square, or rather ds that is square root of dr square, which is square root of dr dot dr. Okay, dr dot dr. Okay, so ds square that is equal to dx square plus dy square plus dz square, that is equal to dr dot dr. So the differential arc length ds, that is defined like this. The square of the distance between, it is determined from the square of the distance between two neighboring points. So ds square is this. Okay. Now in curvilinear coordinates system, ds square, which is dr dot dr, that can be written like this, because we know dr is this, sigma I dou r dou qi dqi. So dr dot dr, that will be equal to sigma ij dou r dou qi dot dou r dou qj dqi dqj. Okay, here we have the dot product. So ds square, which is dr dot dr, that is given by this. Okay. Now if I put dou r by dou qi dot dou r by dou r dou qj as equal to gij, I put dou r by dou qi dot the scalar product dou r dou qj is gij, then we have the ds square as equal to sigma ij gij dqi dqj. Okay, ds square is equal to sigma ij gij dqi dqj. Now the spaces for which this is a that is the arc length ds is defined like this. If arc length ds, arc length is the distance between 2 points. Okay, ds. So that ds square is equal to sigma ij gij dqi dqj. The spaces for which this is a legitimate expression. If for a space, if we can write an equation like this, then this is called metric or Riemannian space. The space is a metric or Riemannian space. So ds square sigma ij gij dqi dqj. Okay. So gij are the scalar product of tangent vectors, because we know dou r by dou q1. What is it? Dou r by dou q1 is tangent to the q1 curve. Dou r by dou q2 is tangent to the q2 curve. Dou r dou q3 is a tangent to the q3 curve. Okay. Now if we limit ourselves to orthogonal coordinate system, mutually perpendicular surfaces, then we know the tangents will be perpendicular. Dou r dou q1, this will be perpendicular to dou r dou q2 if we are considering orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. At each point the coordinate surfaces are intersecting in mutually. Okay. If this angle is 90 degree, all these angles are 90 degree, we say it's an orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. So the tangent vectors will be mutually perpendicular at the point of intersection. So if we are limiting ourselves to orthogonal coordinate system. So we have gij, which is, what is gij? The scalar product of the tangent vectors. So if they are perpendicular, this will be 0. Okay, this will be 0. So gij 0 for I not equal to j, and gii we are writing it as hi square. We have seen h1, h2, h3. We are writing this gii as hi square. I can be 1, 2, 3. So that we get ds square as equal to h1 dq1 square, h2 dq2 square plus h3 dq3 square. So ds square is sigma I hi dqi square. which can be written as ds1 square plus ds2 square plus ds3 square, where this ds1 is h1 dq1, ds2 is h2 dq2, ds3 is h3 dq3. And so ds square we have got as h1 d1 h1 dq1 square plus h2 dq2 square plus h3 dq3 square. So it's dr dot dr, where this dr is h1 dq1 unit vector q1, h2 dq2 q2, h3 dq3 q3. So this is dr. h1 dq1 unit vector q1, h2 dq2 q2, h3 dq3 q3. Okay, so we can represent dr like this. Okay, so here ds1 is h1 dq1, ds2 is h2 dq2, ds3 is the h3 dq3, and dr in orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system can be written like this. Cartesian coordinate system, it is dx dx I plus dy j plus dz k. Okay, so that is ds square. So if we consider small volume element, see the q1 curve, q2 curve and q3 curve, we consider small volume element. Its edges will have the lengths h1 dq1, h2 dq2 and h3 dq3. Okay, and a vector that we already wrote, vector can be written like this: v1 q1 unit vector q1, v2 unit vector q2, v3 unit vector q3, and v dot dr. Okay, integral v dot dr. That will be v is this, v is this. We know what is dr. Dr we have just seen. This is dr. Dr is this h1 dq1 q1 dot q1 plus h2 dq2 q2 plus h3 dq3 q3. So that v dot dr is this sigma I integral vi hi dqi. So the area elements, the area element, that is d sigma ij, that is dsi dsj. Okay, dsi, for example ds1 ds2, okay, for corresponding to one surface of the cube that we, or that small volume element that we consider at the point of intersection. So if it is ds1, then it will be h1 dq1, ds2 h2 dq2. Okay, actually we have area elements here. We can consider area element here, 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 here. Okay, 6 area elements we can consider. Or rather 3 area elements. Okay, 3 area elements here, here, here. Okay, 3. So d sigma. So this is the area element d sigma ij, corresponding to the surface I and the coordinate lines I and j. The volume element, that is d tau, is equal to h1 h2 h3 dq1 dq2 dq3. d tau ds1 ds2 ds3, because the edges are h1 dq1 h2 dq2 and h3 dq3. Okay, the surface integral, the area vector d sigma, that can be written in this form: ds2 ds3 q1 unit vector, then ds3 ds1 q2 ds1 ds2 q3. So this is h2 h3 dq2 dq3 q1, then h3 h1 dq3 dq1 q2, h1 h2 dq1 dq2 q3. So the surface integral now becomes this surface integral. If you want to calculate the surface integral, that will be integral v d sigma, that is given by this. Okay, the dot product of v with the d sigma. The vector algebra that is same as in orthogonal curvilinear. It's same in orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system as in Cartesian coordinate system. A vector A can be written like this: A1 Q1, A2 Q2, A3 Q3. Vector B, B1 Q1, B2 Q2 plus B3 Q3. So A dot B, if you take the dot product, it will be like this: sigma ik, ai qi dot bk qk. Oh, that will be sigma ik I bk qi dot qk. Qi dot qk is delta ik. Okay, qi dot qk, that is delta ik. If they are mutually, qi and qk are mutually perpendicular, so that's why we have qi dot qk as equal to delta ik. I and k same, it will be 1. I and k different, this will be 0. So we have this A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3. Now for the cross products, as in the Cartesian coordinate system, we write like this: A cross B, that is given by Q1 unit vector Q1, Q2, Q3, and the components A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. Okay. Then, so that's how we find the cross product, the dot product. Okay, the surface integral, the Woolley element, area element. So we will be using all these ideas later on. Then we see the gradient. How do we find the gradient in vector algebra? How do we find the gradient? If we move from a point q1, q2, q3 to a point q1 plus dq1, q2 plus dq2 plus q3 plus dq3, a neighboring point, q1 plus dq1, q2 plus dq2, q3 plus dq3, that's a neighboring point, a point neighboring to q1, q2, q3. The scalar function psi of q1, q2, q3, that changes by an amount, that is given by d psi equal to dou psi by dou q1 dq1, dou psi dou q2 dq2, dou psi dou q3 dq3. Okay, by the idea of calculus, d psi, a small, the change in psi when we move from a point to a neighboring point. The function psi, which is a function of q1, q2, q3, this will be changing like this: d psi equal to dou psi by dou q1, the change due to the change in q1, dou psi by dou q2 dq2, dou psi by dou q3 dq3. Okay. Now we can also write this as a dot product. D psi is given by del psi dot dr. Del psi is the gradient of psi. Dot dr. Dr is the small displacement. Okay, small displacement from one point to the neighboring point. So dr is given by dr, we already know h1 dq1 unit vector q1, h2 dq2 unit vector q2, h3 dq3 q3. So one can write d psi as del psi, since this is a dot product, as we saw in the case of dot product of a dot b. We can write this as del psi q1. Del psi q1 is the component of the del psi. Del psi q2, that's a component of del psi. Del psi q3, that's a component of del psi. Okay, so d psi, that is given by del psi q1 h1 dq1, del psi q2 h2 dq2, del psi q3 h3 dq3. So from this we can write del psi q1. Okay, if we partially differentiate this with respect to q1, if we are partially differentiating this with respect to q1, del psi q1, that will be equal to, dou psi by dou q1, dou psi by dou q1. That will be equal to del psi q1 into h1. Okay. Similarly, dou psi dou q2, that will be equal to this 1 by h2 dou psi by dou. Del psi dou q3, I can get 1 by h3 dou psi dou q. So I have to take the partial differentiation with respect to q1. So I will have dou psi by dou q1. So all of this will go. Then I have to take dou psi dou q2. Then I have to take dou psi dou q3. So you will be getting this. So del psi, that is, we have got all the components. Del psi, which is actually del psi, the q1 component, unit vector q1, del psi q2 component, unit vector q2, del psi q3 component, unit vector q3. These components we have determined. So it is 1 by h1 dou psi dou q1, unit vector q1, 1 by h2 dou psi dou q2, q2, 1 by h3 dou psi dou q3, q3. So this is how we write the gradient in the curvilinear coordinate system. We have to determine the curl and divergence, the expressions for curl and divergence in the curvilinear coordinate system. Okay, so that we will do in the next class.